Starting online arbitrage on Amazon is the best and easiest way to make money online at this exact point in time. Now, anything that leads to making money is of course going to come with some sort of roadblocks and hurdles. I've been selling Amazon for 2 years now, and the reason I'm making this video is to highlight some important things you really want to avoid when getting into the online arbitrage model. If you're not avoiding these costly mistakes, your business could fold out right under you. Now, all arbitrage is, if you're completely new, is purchasing products from online stores such as Walmart or Target and selling those same products on Amazon for a markup, making a profit in between. So let's hop right into some of the mistakes. I'm going to highlight 3 really crucial things you want to avoid. Now, before we get into these 3 costly mistakes, I want to be really clear. This video isn't going to be some basic 3 things to avoid, like not investing enough time, not reinvesting your profits, and not networking. These things should already be givens. Rather, these are going to be actionable steps you can take and things you really need to be cautious of. So let's get into mistake number 1, and that is not being able to read proper data. Being able to read Keepa charts as an Amazon seller is the number 1 most important skill you can develop, because if you can develop your skill at reading Keepa charts, you're never going to be purchasing bad inventory again, or rather you're going to be purchasing it at a much smaller percentage, and your business can thrive while you're not going to be losing money. So if you don't know what Keepa is, essentially it's a tool that every Amazon seller needs to be using, and it lets us dive into every single Amazon product's past data. We can see how price is affected by the supply and see how the demand is affected based on the price that the product's at. We can even see how many units each seller on that listing is getting each and every month. This is just brushing the surface with what Keepa has to offer. I have a much more in-depth video on everything to do with Keepa, but if you can take away one thing from this mistake, it's that you will undoubtedly lose money if you're not able to utilize this specific tool. Now, like I said, I already have a video on my page that dives deep into Keepa. It's like 20 minutes long. That'll be linked at the end of the video, but I would definitely wait till after you're done listening to these other 2 mistakes, because the last one won't only mess up your Amazon business, but it could seriously impact your personal life. Getting straight into mistake number 2, and that is going too deep on inventory. So essentially what I mean by this is you're putting all your eggs in one basket. When you find one profitable product, rather than testing that product out, ordering 10 to 20 units, you're purchasing as many as you possibly can and maxing out credit cards on one product. I can't even tell you how many different things can go wrong with this. You should probably pick up on a couple right away, but let me tell you why this is a horrible idea. Now, just because that product looks good right now doesn't mean it will look good in a couple weeks, even a couple days. New sellers can hop on the listing, causing it to tank in price, and you'll lose money on every product you sell. Amazon can hop on the listing at any given moment. That listing can even get deactivated. It's just something that's not always in our control. So you never want to risk losing out on all that money on one product. You want to diversify your portfolio of products you're selling. This way, if one thing goes wrong, it's not going to leave a dent in your Amazon business. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't be going deep on products, because that's how you inevitably scale. But before you go deep on products, you always want to test them out, making sure you're getting the amount of sales you think you should be getting. It's holding a consistent price. There's so many things you need to consider. Last Q4, I saw a bunch of people on Twitter tweeting about purchasing a whole bunch of inventory on products before they were even approved and ungated to sell that product. Now, those same people I see no longer have Amazon seller in their bio. They've completely moved on to a new business model, and I can only guess as to why that was the case, and it probably has to do with them doing this mistake that you really need to avoid if you want to do this long term. Still to this day, I'm testing out every single product I purchase. Now, sometimes that means purchasing 10 units, sometimes that means purchasing 100 units. It's completely different depending on the product and what the Keepa is telling us. Now, like I said earlier, mistake number 3 can not only be detrimental to your Amazon business, but it can really mess up your personal life, and that's not having the cash to back up your spend on your credit cards. Utilizing credit cards to scale and to build your Amazon business is a fantastic way at leveraging other people's money. Please note this, that when you purchase a product, at the very earliest, you can expect to get that money back within 4 weeks. Sometimes it takes much longer than 4 weeks. This is just the earliest you can expect. You have to order the product and let it come to your house, which can take anywhere from a day to a couple weeks depending on lead times. You then have to prep the product, which is completely in your control. And then the thing that's not in our control is the check-in times. Once you send it into Amazon, it can take anywhere from a day. For me, it's even taken a couple months. Now, that's super unlikely, and that's not usually the case. On average, you can expect about a week for your product to check in. Once it's been checked in, then it has to sell, and depending on the volume of the product, that just depends completely on the product. But let's just say it sells right away. Well, then that money is going to go into your account reserves for 2 weeks in case there's chargebacks, refunds, and then and only then will you get paid out. So you really need to understand your cash flow in your business and your billing cycles with your credit cards so you can utilize the money that they're letting you use for the most amount of time so your inventory can turn. If you don't have the cash to back it and you're not aware of your billing cycles, well, then the interest can rack up quicker than you can expect, because these credit cards have brutal interest rates and they will wipe out any profits you make if you're not paying full statement balance in time. Now look, everything I've said in this video is probably leaving a really bad taste in your mouth, and you're probably asking yourself why you should even consider selling on Amazon. And look, at the end of the day, what this business model is building a business, and any business you decide to build is going to have roadblocks along the way. Trust me, the ones with Amazon are minimal in comparison to any other one you might look to begin. But I really wanted to highlight these 3 crucial mistakes that you might be making or you might make in the future if you're not completely aware of them. And they're things that aren't really talked about as much as your typical reinvest your profits, network type mistakes. And if you can avoid making these 3 crucial mistakes, well, then you're going to be well on your way to running a successful Amazon business. If you have any additional questions about selling on Amazon, join our completely free Discord. There's over 500 members in there, a lot of large sellers that can help answer any questions you might have. And if you want to take selling on Amazon more seriously, then book a free 10-minute call with me and we can have a quick chat. The opportunity to make a living on Amazon has never been easier if you're doing it correctly.